The Tyranids. They are a strange and deadly alien swarm species comprised of trillions of bioforms that work in unison as a galactic spanning organism. They all have a basal genetic template that can be altered or mixed with other alien DNAs to create countless types of monsters. They are the ultimate predatory species who see everything living as just food for their swarm. Each individual Tyranid is a part of a hive mind, a super intelligence that is truly alien and incomprehensible to humanity. So here in this video we are going to at least break down their leadership bioforms that have a strong connection, or they have a degree of intelligence or autonomy to coordinate the hive, and they are linked to the hive mind synaptic web. But before that, we have to properly define how the hive mind works and how the individual Tyranids are a part of it. This will be a hard thing to do, but do it we will. So let's get to it. So every Tyranid's instinct is joined and interlinked into a single awareness, a huge entity that spans hundreds of light years. This sentience is referred to as the hive mind. In the swarm, there are certain bioforms like the Hive Tyrant, the Dominatrix and the Swarmlord that possess a great link to the overall consciousness, and there are also many lesser forms that are only connected to the hive mind through these synaptic creatures. These are called the synaptic link between the bioforms and the central hive mind. So greater the synaptic link to the hive mind, the more intelligent the individual Tyranid is, and the more the lesser forms under it can be coordinated. Think of it as a massive spiderweb that represents the hive mind. The further away a node is from the center, the lesser the link it possesses. They need to be linked to the web strings further inwards to be at one with the alien consciousness. Now imagine it as a complex set of webs interlinked. That is what the hive mind is. And also, if a synaptic link bioform is killed, the lesser forms under it are either killed by the ensuing psychic scream, or they turn into feral animals, going to their basic instincts. Like if you cut off a web string close to the center, the more unstable the strings beyond it will be, and they will just break off. So, going by the strength of their link to the hive mind and therefore their degree of control, we have firstly the Turbagon. This is a gigantic living incubator beneath which dozens upon dozens of Turmagons sleep in a state of hibernation, and it can produce its latent broods at will. They are one of the main synaptic links between higher forms and the basal Turmagons, the ones which are seen in massive numbers overwhelming enemy forces. When a Turbagon is killed, the synaptic link is broken and the psychic backlash kills all its spawns within a certain area, of course, and survivors become feral and revert back to their predatory instincts, or either link up with another that they come into contact with. Then we have the Broodlord. So these are initially one of the many bioforms that are created by the Nonqueens and sent on missions to survey potential worlds for consumption. So when these gene stealer specimens reach a certain planet, they are cut off from the hive mind due to their vast distance. But unlike the other bioforms that become feral, these actually carry out their protocols to create a mini swarm with a mini hive mind within a planet. The Broodlord, as it gradually evolves to be, becomes the leader of the gene stealer forces that work behind enemy lines, reproducing with alien life forms to create hybrids that operate as spies and also sabotaging the enemy defenses. The gene stealer bioforms then wait for the main fleet to arrive and link up with the hive mind, and then they are controlled by the higher bioforms. Next we have Old One Eye. While you might think that a Carnifex is just a living tank with gigantic scythe claws, they do have somewhat of a stronger link to the hive mind, and although they are just brute force warrior bioforms, there are instances where a feral population of gene stealers and Turmagons actually link up to follow the gigantic Carnifex as their leader. Such is the case of Old One Eye, who was thought to have been killed by a last pistol shot to the brain. It actually survived and then became the dominant Tyranid bioform in the Ultramarines' death world of Cult. There is a gene stealer cult known as the Behemoid Undercult that actually worships Old One Eye as their deity. Then we have the Malantrobe. These are enigmatic biomorphs covered in deadly spores and endowed with a sharp and devious intelligence. They are seen after the main force clears the defenders, skimming through the wreckage of each conflict, leading a swarm of rippers to salvage new biomass and genetic information from the dead. The biomass collected from the Malantrobe is then used to produce more complex bioforms by the Hive Fleet's non-queens. These Malantrobes move by levitation and can do so because they are powerful psychers with a strong connection to the hive mind. Theory has it that they might have been developed from a zoanthrope due to their design. And talking about the zoanthropes, here we have them. These, although appearing as fragile specimens, are actually formidable psychers. They are synaptic nodes built only to tap into the hive mind's psychic capabilities. By being the psycho warriors of the Hive fleet, they also have access to a greater connection with the Hive Mind, and therefore become synaptic links with the lesser bioforms around them as well, directing them and coordinating their attacks. They are reported as having an unusual physical structure, which appears to have been developed through the harvesting of many types of bioforms consumed by the Hive fleets. Various evidence suggests that the elder DNA are essential in the later forms of these deadly monsters. Also, a Neurotrope, which is a variant of a zoanthrope, became the infamous Doom of Malantrobe, a Tyranid bioform that caused the death of an entire Elder craft world after it devoured the Eldari souls trapped in the Infinity Circuit, making it nearly godlike in power level. Higher on this command list, we have the Neuro Tyrant. This bioform is a creature that is created for battlefield support roles, but unlike humans or other races, these support roles are often tied in with coordination roles. It flies across the ground like a zoanthrope, but unlike their smaller brethren, it has a swarm of lashing tendrils to whip at anything in its path. Its massive brain exists to focus the mental powers, intensifying the psychic pressure applied by the shadow in the warp, while conveying at the same time the essential synaptic network to the less developed species. For the new ones here, the shadow in the warp is like a static field of psychic energy that blocks out any form of communication or far-seeing by other psychers. Now we come to the battlefield commanders, or at least the equivalent of the Tyranids, starting with the Tyranid Prime. Just as humans have sergeants and lieutenants, the Tyranids have their own counterparts, the Tyranid Primes, which are the pinnacle of the warrior strain. Tyranid Primes are far more intelligent than their regular counterparts. When they command a brood of Tyranid warriors, they act as one entity, employing tactics and precision that rival other intelligent races. These alpha warriors with greater synaptic links than the lower kindred command the swarming wave of chitinous monstrosities that herald the coming of a Hive fleet, and at times even leading larger forms like the Carnifex and the Maulocs or even the Psycho variants. Then higher up the list we have the Trigon Prime. The Trigons are massive bioforms that lead swarms of lesser Tyranids into battle. They act as captains that lead the charge. They are even bigger than the Carnifex and are heavily armored monsters, covered from head to tail with a thick carapace of shifting plates. They also have some Bioshock capability. Like the Maulocs, which they often lead, they are subterranean and can dig underground tunnels to emerge from behind enemy lines. Although not really intelligent, as they can easily be baited away from targets, they still have a very powerful synaptic link that enables them to dominate lesser bioforms. The Trigon Prime, on the other hand, is an improved version of this and is harder to defeat due to having both an increased intelligence as well as a more armored carapace. So higher in the hierarchy, we have the male Scepter. So this creature here is the Hive Mind's living vessel. Its eyeless cranium spews warp energy spears that vaporize anything in its path, and those with strong enough minds to withstand its psychic screams are then laid low by its mighty talons. Its sole objective is to smash everything in its path with pure psychic force. It was designed to pursue and destroy Imperial Knights and Eldari Wraith constructs, and has a brood of zoanthropes powering it from inside. Appearing as an armored brain of sorts, with a body built by the Hive Mind to support the male Scepter's immense weight, it is easily one of the higher leadership bioforms, as it possesses a higher intelligence due to its 6-lobed brain processor, as well as being a conduit for the Hive Mind. Now we come to the battlefield commanders, starting with the Hive Tyrant. This synapse creature is one of the main links of the Tyranid invasion force on the ground and the Hive Mind. With their potent psychic powers and tactical awareness, they outthink and overpower their prey. They are battlefield commanders that strategize and coordinate the entire invasion force. Even when killed, the Hive Mind regrows them with the same capacity. Some Hive Tyrants possess wings and advanced long-range weapons, while others rely on their claws and acidic blood to defeat enemies up close. But sometimes, like in Macrage, there were more than just one Hive Tyrant that lead the massive swarms, and at times they are just one, and even one that can lead a bigger force like a splinter fleet, like the Nephilim King. Then next we have the Dominatrix. They are one of the Hive Mind's largest and most powerful biotitans. As a result, they are one of the physically more powerful bioforms. However, their psychic abilities are what truly distinguishes them, as they have direct links to the Nonqueens aboard the Hive ships in the Hive fleets. A Dominatrix has a psychic aura that extends a very large area, controlling millions of lesser bioforms in the vicinity. In other words, the Dominatrix has the psychic potential of their overseers, the Nonqueens. It has firepower that surpasses that of a Hierophant, a Biotitan, and also the tactical brilliance of a commander, a Hive Tyrant. However, the complexities of the Tyranid swarm is such that we don't really know if they are beneath or are the equivalent of Hive Tyrants in an invasion, or even if they are superior due to their more direct link. So up next we have the Nonqueens. These aren't exactly queens of a hive but are somewhat of a brood mother to an entire fleet. Each hive fleet has at least one Nonqueen, and they are physically linked to one another. They are the driving force behind the evolution and the creation of new bioforms. Unlike drag queens, Nonqueens actually produce many of the dreaded bioforms, or at least direct others like the Turbagon to spawn lesser ones. While there are other bioforms that can coordinate Tyranid forces, the Nonqueens generally dictate the hive fleets into which planets to invade and consume, as well as which battles to fight. Their psychic link also allows them to converse with one another, frequently suggesting critical changes to their various Tyranid splinter fleets. Typically, when a Nonqueen is slain, the respective hive fleet will lose unit cohesion for a short period of time. Splinter fleets frequently have their own Nonqueens, and there have been hive fleets producing so many that many splinter fleets sprout out from their demise, like the hive fleets Hydra and Kraken. And then above all of them we have the Swarmlord. The Swarmlord, the highest form of the Hive Tyrant, is as old as the Tyranid race itself. It is a nightmare monster that has preyed on civilizations and oversaw the annihilation of entire worlds and species. It has been known by many other names, including the Tyrant Lord of the Hive Mind, the Herald of the Great Devourer, and the Destroyer of the Kala Empire. It has the strongest connection to the Hive Mind, and hence it is at the very top of the chain of command. While the Nonqueens oversee the production of new bioforms and debate the way forward for the Hive Fleet like generals in a war, the Swarmlord is the essence of the Hive Mind itself, and is the equivalent of a Primarch, so it transcends the Nonqueens. It can also emerge in any Hive Fleet with the same characteristics like an avatar of the Hive Mind. In other words, it is to a Hive Tyrant as a Hive Tyrant is to a Gorn. So it is the ultimate bioform and also the leader of all the Hive Fleets. Anyway, I hope you have enjoyed watching this video. Do hit that like button for support and subscribe, but most of all smash that bell icon for regular updates on new videos here on this channel. Take care, boys.